I figured for today's video, I'm gonna take a load, take a bushel of scrap to the scrap yard. Got some pretty decent stuff in there. Figured I'd go see what 1 bushel of rubbish is worth today.
Let me see here. 1/2 portion.
When you start looking for this kind of stuff, it's really all over the place. Oh. I'm pretty sure those are brass, and they're real heavy. Let's see if they're brass or an aluminum. They're pretty much too heavy to be aluminum, but you never know for sure. Scratch it up like that. It looks like an aluminum. Look at it. Actually, sometimes it's hard. You can get in the sun. Let's find some sun around here. Actually looks like an aluminum, doesn't it? That's awfully heavy for aluminum. Let's see here. It looks like aluminum. I'm not so sure if that's not a brass coated with some kind of yellow. There's not anything really good to scratch it on around here. Sometimes you need to take a file or a grinder and really get into it to see. I don't know if that's like a brass with a silver coating and then like a yellow paint, but I'll find out down at the scrapyard. That's way too heavy to be brass. I don't believe my eyes there. Or I mean, it's way too heavy to be aluminum. I don't believe my eyes on that one. So we'll take it down to the scrapyard, get to the bottom of that. But what I was gonna say is if that's brass, that was probably over £1. So that was probably $2 worth. And if it's aluminum, it's maybe 40 cents. I already got the cord off that screen the other night. Flat screens like that have some scrap. There'll be like a gold plated strip board across the top of that. Gold flashing, gold plate. I have a video for scrapping out flat screens down in the description. If you click on show more, the description will open up and you scroll all the way down to the bottom. Well, not all the way to the bottom, but scroll down in there and there'll be a flat screen video in there for you. And there's other ones on YouTube as well. E-waste ban would be one I'd recommend. But let's get to it. It's gonna turn out that that's actually a cast aluminum. I'm kind of surprised. It's really heavy to be aluminum. I'll actually show that to them up at the scale. They're gonna have a hard time believing that's aluminum as well. Listen to how heavy it is. It's a heavy nugget. Big price and difference. Big difference in prices, I meant to say. And get my glasses off the dirty concrete. There we go. Aluminum cans, 2 buckets. These are electric motors. These are both ceiling fans here. I'm not sure what that one was. That's a heavy electric motor. Got some breakage here. It's aluminum with other material stuck to it. Garden hose deal. Lamp thingy. This is off of like a DirecTV satellite dish. Inside here is a chunk of aluminum. I'll show this to you real quick. Yeah, usually it'll pop off there. Let's see here. That one's been stubborn. I'm gonna mess with it. Inside there's a big aluminum chunk. It'll be breakage. These little things here are dirty brass. You want to take those off. Sometimes they might be stainless. This is going to be a junk wire, a low grade wire here. With these little phone cords. There's not a whole lot of copper in there. There's little things like that. This is a piece of stainless. Found it at a red light. That's like 20 cents right there. A chunk of stainless. That was actually like a $25 Yeti mug. Here's another electric motor. I'm going to take the screw out of there. Gotta take that plastic off of there like so. Now it's getting cold out. I'll stop doing that. When it gets cold out, this plastic is like brittle. Start making a mess. There's a motor there. And I might clean that up before I turn the camera on. Nice little brass faucet. That one actually might be. That's actually plastic. Those are plastic. And that right there's a piece of brass. These are getting cheap sometimes. The newer ones can be real cheap. I just noticed that. That piece in my hand is brass. And everything else you're looking at, believe it or not, is plastic. So this goes dirty brass. This is clean brass in here. With some dirty brass, it'll separate up at the scale. I just need to carry it up there. So just throw all this in there for now. It's a bucket of number 2 insulated copper wire. I squished it down like so. There's actually quite a bit in there. Might be 15 pounds. I've got some communications wire mixed up in there. Some scrap yards. Probably give you a better price for that. That's like the Ethernet for your computer and stuff, router and that kind of stuff. But these cords are like off of televisions and microwaves and all kinds of whatnots. It's got a decent amount of copper in there. Here's a piece of number 1 insulated copper. See how nice and chunky that is. It's not going to be enough to weigh, so I'll just throw it in there for a bonus. And this is tin shred. Basically, how I view tin shred, how a lot of scrappers would view tin shred is it's basically the trash of the scrap metal world, like the aluminum and the copper and brass is all the good stuff, and then you just kind of throw everything else in here. That's not a bad circuit board. That'd be one if you want to take that circuit board out of there and sell it to a place like boardsort.com. Link for that's down in the description. It's got some nice chips on it and stuff, so it's worth some money, but I'm just not gonna mess with it right now. I'm not sure what that was. Got a little toaster, a pedal off of a sewing machine, car radio. So the plugs, the scrapyard I go to, you have to cut the plugs off. Throw the plugs in here. Where I live, these plugs, no one wants them, so just throw them in a tin shed. Like an old tin can. Part of a lamp. Windshield wiper. I saw in one of my videos someone was like, why would you scavenge an old windshield wiper? Who would do that? Scrap metal. That's worth about 2 cents. That kind of stuff. I Found this in a video, I didn't know what it was. Someone in the comments said that's for tile. That's a tool for doing some kind of like tile flooring jobs. I don't know if that's right or not, but we were trying to figure out what that was, and everyone in the comments and myself were like, well, I have no idea what that is. Someone said it's for like pushing tile close together or something. There might be a piece missing, but I don't know if that's right. I thought that was kind of interesting. If you want to know about circuit boards, check out this channel, E-Waste Ben, down there in the description. I'll link it up. Sorry, my voice a little dry out here. It's like dry, cool weather moving in. I don't even notice I'm clearing my throat until I edit my videos, and it's just sitting there going alrighty, go see how much this is worth.
What you brought me today is worth 1/4 portion.
Didn't show the aluminum bucket. It's like pieces of rain gutters, window screen frame, part of a lamp post. Saw those guys. I've sold a lot of those for brass over the years. I never really looked at them too close. I wonder, it's so heavy. I just have a hard time believing it's aluminum. It must be like a dense, pure aluminum. Little like brake lever type gadgets in here. I think that was a brake off of a bicycle. Little cast aluminum jobby. All right, so dude put it in the alligator shears, alligator jaws. They're a piece of machinery in there, that doorknob or the drawer knob. And he's saying it's white brass. It's the mythical, the legendary white brass. That's what was confusing me. It was way too heavy and too strong to be aluminum. I've never actually seen in a white brass before, but he said he's sure it's a white brass, because if it's aluminum, it'll just kind of squish in the alligator jaws, but a brass will just pop apart. And he said it put pressure on this and it just popped apart. So there it is, folks, a white brass. I knew that was too heavy to be aluminum. It's kind of cool. So in the summertime, you can smash a lot of plastic, save some time. When it starts getting cold out, then get this screwdriver out and start taking screws out and stuff. Unless you want to spend 10 minutes picking up little shreds of plastic. Let's see what the prices are doing. Look at that. Look at that. Chunk. It's the good stuff. Aluminum's down to 20 cents. Brass is steady. Number 2 insulated copper is at 70 cents. That's a great price for number 2 insulated copper. That's that bucket I had. I said it's about 15 pounds. So I might get $10 or so for that. Electric motors up to 15 cents. Short steel 6 cents. Like it's 5 cents, 10, 4 cents. So prices have come up a little bit. At 70 cents a pound is actually quite excellent. I'm kind of surprised to see that.
60 portions.
$23.02. So what I was saying, 70 cents for number 2 insulated copper wire. They've actually changed the name of it here. Now they call it 50% insulated copper wire. 70 cents is good, considering number 1 copper is at $2.20. 714.21. So that's a third. 50% insulated copper is a third of the price as this stuff. In my book, that's a good price. That's about the highest I've ever seen it, actually. It's kind of odd considering copper used to be almost $4 a pound. Huh, I wonder if they're selling it somewhere else or something. But the guy up there was saying about that white brass. He was saying that like plumber's brass, like in a restroom or like in a business, they got this big silver chunky plumbing on the toilets. They call that plumber's brass. And he says a lot of that when they get in here will be white brass. And it's actually mixed with a plastic. I don't know if it's true or not. I thought I'd share that. A lot of that new plumber's brass, they said, is mixed with some sort of plastic. That was kind of odd. But let's see here. Let's get some light on the situation. 24 pounds electric motors for $3.60. 3 pounds aluminum cans for $1.05. 30% insulated wire. That's why I said that junk wire, that low grade wire. 1 pound 35 cents. So not too long ago, number 2 insulated copper, the 50% was at about 30 cents. And now the junk wire's worth more than that. So I'm not sure how to explain that situation exactly with copper being at $2.20 still. But let's see, 50% insulated copper wire. The number 2 is 12 pounds for $8.40. Look at that, I'm about to get Peterbilt. Alright, I don't know if you can hear me, but here we go. Finish this off. 3 pounds clean aluminum for 60 cents. 6 pounds aluminum breakage for 30 cents. A pound of stainless steel, that was that Yeti cup, 30 cents. Which is weird. Stainless steel is worth more than is worth 10 cents a pound more than aluminum. It's usually not that big of a difference. Stainless is actually usually cheaper than aluminum. So we've got something odd going on here in the scrap world. We've got 2 pounds of dirty brass for $1.30. 28 pounds tin for $1.12. 5 pounds brass for $6, $23.02. Get out of here where you can hear me. Actually, I'm gonna spin around the scrapyard one time. No, I'm not. Never mind. Alrighty then. I was gonna show you back there, but most of you have seen that already, so I sure hope you enjoyed this video. I hope someone out there may have learned a thing or two about making a little extra money. As always, thanks for watching.